Hey guys, KingBob06 here, back with another video. In this video, I'll be showing you guys my first full speed paint of Eijuu Blacka, my newest original character. In this video, I'll go over the process of this drawing, the obstacle of art block, and a new anime that I started called Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. So in terms of the sketch, the pose itself is something that randomly came in mind. I originally wanted to draw like Wonder Woman, but I was thinking, why not draw my own OC? Because I have an OC, or two of them, Charlotte Littlehorn, but more recently Eijuu Blacka, who is more muscular. So I decided to draw her with her bikini and a slight change to her hair, because if you guys saw the reference sheet, you know that she has a hairpin and then she has like a pigtail. So you can see in the sketch I reference a specific bikini design, or I believe I reference two. Whenever I draw a new outfit, I almost always have a reference, and even when I'm not drawing a new outfit, I'm drawing clothing that I've done before, I will continue to reference more times than not. So let's get to the final drawing. So in terms of the final drawing, I went for a more painterly look. This was heavily inspired by Sam Does Art. I've talked about him extensively in a previous video, and I've talked about him in previous videos after that, so I won't bore you guys with that again, but just know I like his style of art. So I had to modify the sketch a little bit, because when I make the first sketch, it's just to get the idea on the board. I do try to perfect it in some ways, but if I want to make it a final drawing, if I see some glaring issues, then I will fix them, and usually it's easier for me to see the issues like after I'm done with the sketch, because once I'm done with the sketch, once I've let it go, I come back to it and I might just immediately see an issue. So yeah, I modified it a little bit, and I wanted to make some just slight adjustments. I still kept it in my style of the line art and the drawing, but I wanted to go for, like I said, a more painterly style, kind of like Sam Does Arts. Wanted to mix my general anime cell shading with just painting, so that's what I did. I put my sketch layer on multiply because I wanted to still have that rough line art. I just wanted it to look a little more rough and loose. So I painted gray under the sketch. This just acts as a mask. If you guys see any of my previous videos, I always have a gray mask. It's just no saturation. It's set on 50% light and darkness, so it's just like a completely middle gray. And then I paint in the different sections: the skin, the bikini, the eyes, the nose, the lips, and the hair. I paint each part. I use a multiply layer to put the shading. Once I have just the general shading done, then I merge it onto whatever layer it is. In this case, the first one was the skin. So I put that down, and then I go in and I make some parts of the shading soft, some parts of the shading hard, because there's some cast shadows, and there's just also some subtle shadows, and then there's also going to be ambient occlusion for the background. The background's supposed to be sand, but I deal with shading part of the background at the end of the drawing, so you just have to wait to see that, or you can look on my Discord to see the final result and see how I did everything, but you'll also see it at the end of this video. My overall goal was to be fast and not worry about making it look too realistic. Like I said, going for painterly but not ultra realistic, or something that would take hours upon hours to perfect. You can tell from the final result this isn't just one of my typical anime drawings that I usually do. Not that I'm done with making anime style art. In fact, the next week's, not next week's video, but the one after that is going to be just general anime style. So when it comes down to the last part, I multiplied the majority of the drawing and left like a layer of light in the middle. In the middle, I believe I used a hard light layer. I used like almost white, but it was like a yellowish white, and then I used like a desaturated brown for the multiply. I wanted to make the light very dramatic, so that that part of the drawing kind of stands out, and it's clear that there's a lot of sunlight going on, and that Eijuu Blacka in this case has a lot of shade. There's more going on with this in comparison to most of the art that I do. It's clear that she's not just standing on a backdrop, for example. I think I did really good in establishing the background, establishing the scene, making it dynamic without necessarily putting Eijuu in like an action-like pose. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about the process. This is a common problem amongst basically any artist, whether you're talking about a digital artist, whether you're talking about a traditional artist, whether you're talking about a music artist, just any form of creative stuff, you're gonna run into this problem, including myself. Sometimes after I complete a few drawings that I've come up with, I feel stuck, kind of like my mind is in quicksand. I've watched countless YouTube videos of people talking about methods to get rid of art block. The most common one is just taking a break from art, which I've done. Usually I'll take 1 to 2 days off in which I just don't do anything art related. And one thing that really inspires me in terms of artwork is One Piece. As I've said a bajillion times, One Piece is the greatest fictional work in existence. It always inspires me. In fact, last week I mentioned that Yamato was the inspiration for me creating Eijuu Blacka, Yamato and Zoro, because I wanted to have a swordsman OC of my own. And there's a specific pose I saw Yamato in, and the lighting and the coloring. I talked about this more extensively in last week's video, so I won't go over it now. But point is, One Piece inspires me to do a lot of different things. One Piece inspires me to continually improve my craft when it comes to my artwork. And another inspiration that I have, which mostly applies to real life, is LeBron James. He is the king. He's not only the greatest basketball player of all time, he's not only the greatest athlete of all time, but he's the greatest human being to ever exist. I believe I've said this in a previous video, but I want to just emphasize this. So I'm thinking now, because I'm not necessarily struggling with art block right now, but like the ideas aren't flowing as I usually do. So I'm thinking because I think I saw a video from Mark Brunette that had like a different method other than just not doing art. So I think I might look for some more videos to get rid of art block. So hopefully I can more consistently create art. Because as of now, I only have 2 more videos like ready to go in terms of artwork. I have not finished. I need to create more art so I do not miss any Friday uploads. Last week I was looking through the dubbed anime on Anime Suge, and I found Mashle, Magic and Muscles. I read the description and it seemed interesting, so I decided to check it out. The beginning reminds me of Black Clover. Asta and Mash, who are the protagonists of the series, can't use magic. In the world, magic is used in everyday society, but there are fundamental differences between the two series and even the two characters to a certain extent. There are physical marks on people for people who can use magic. Anyone who can't use magic does not have a mark. Ones who have multiple marks have more powerful magic. And something that I just thought of, both Asta and Mash were adopted. Mash was just left somewhere because he can't use magic. He was abandoned, and then Rieger Burndead took him in. So in a sense, he was adopted, kind of like how Asta and Euron just left at the orphanage. Mash has been unaware that he can't use magic. Both Mash and Asta find out in the first episode of their respective series that they just don't have any capacity to use magic at all. The magic realm kills anyone who can't use magic or who has weak magic. In Black Clover, that's just not a thing. Just those who have weak magic struggle in life. Mash is massively stronger than most who can use magic, and Asta wasn't so fortunate. I mean, he's stronger than the average magic knight, but obviously Asta's not. He's not facing someone like, man, he's not facing like captain level people, but I guess at the same time, Mash wasn't going to face the Grand Master of the Eastern Magic Academy, so yeah, but Asta isn't just completely demolishing anyone who can use magic, and Mash can just completely clap all them cheeks whenever he wants. So one thing that I like about this series is it has more of a focus on comedy. There are some emotional scenes, like the ending of the first episode, in which Mashle saves his grandfather from getting killed by the Magic Bureau. But these don't bring down the overall happy, nonchalant vibes that I get from the series. Mash is such an aloof and just monotone character. You can't see his emotions through his expressions. His tone and overall attitude don't really change so drastically, and the main thing that gives away his emotional state is his actions. He is truly a guy who speaks more with his actions rather than his words, and I truly respect that, because I think any just person should speak with their actions, and they shouldn't just rely on just their words. And Mash's ultimate goal in the series, for those of you who don't know, is become a divine visionary. Basically, these divine visionaries get to decide the rules of the magic realm, and the reason Mash wants to become a divine visionary is so he and his father Rieger Burndead can live happily in peace, because the alternative is that Mash and Rieger are pursued by the Magic Bureau for the rest of their lives. Mash is fine because he's strong, but Rieger is old, so yeah, that's an issue. I'm thinking Mash might actually accomplish it, but because to be honest, he's built different. It's amazing how Mash can accomplish anything just without being able to use magic, especially since it seems he's the strongest student at the Eastern Magic Academy. So let me talk about my overall thoughts of the series. Like I said, it combines comedy with a surprisingly aloof and nonchalant protagonist. His upbringing, Mash's upbringing, is very interesting to look at. I'm not going to say it's completely unique and something I've never seen before, but it is a great twist. It shows that hard work can beat natural talent, just like Naruto is a series that shows that. That is the main message of Naruto, in my opinion. Each character brings something new to the table when it comes to the interactions and brings more knowledge to the audience about how the world works. I will continue to watch the series as more dubbed episodes come out. At the time of writing this script and creating this video, there are only 5 episodes available. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Twitter and Discord, both are in the description. If you want to know what I'm currently doing or thinking about, those 2 places are the best places to go. I will see you guys next time.